what's happening in Maui. It was like, because I feel like it started being, there's like some conspiracy stuff that there's more kids missing, and then there's also sort of a version of, people saying it's climate change, and then people saying it's not. What's actually going on?
Well, what's actually going on is UFOs have infiltrated Maui's.
Yeah.
And they're using blue lasers. No, I don't know. Have you seen that stuff? The people say that the house is painted blue. Have you heard that?
I saw that, with the umbrellas, that there was something like these blue umbrellas that were saved or whatever because of...
They're saying that it's the laser is calibrated to not burn stuff that is blue. Now, I'm sure you could calibrate it to do that. But what I think happened was it's not climate change. I don't think it was some kind of energy weapon. What I do think is that I think there was an electric power line that went down, and then for whatever reason, their state-of-the-art emergency system, they didn't decide to turn them on, and then the guy even defended it. Well, didn't want to do that because that's for tsunamis, and it's just like, so they're lying, and then you find out that they also didn't give water to the firemen, because that's what my big question was, how come I don't see any pictures of firemen being heroic? And the reason is it's because they cut off their frickin' water.
Yeah, you think to see fires like that close to to the ocean, right?
Yeah, and so there's a lot of, and then you find that reports that the cops were turning people back into the fire. They wouldn't let them stop.
What?
Yes, eyewitness accounts of the cop trying to get out and the cops stopping them, blocking them. I saw a video which I just showed on my show on Monday. People driving through the smoke, and they got through. There was the dark smoke, and then it got white smoke, and they go, "Oh, it's getting better because it's white smoke. That means it's fire." And then they saw blue sky, and as soon as they did, cops stopped them, turned them around to go, tell them to go the other way. So there's a lot of things, and plus, if you know anything about Maui, then the government, it's super corrupt, which is why that guy's the police chief. That guy who's the police chief in Maui.
Is he like boys with them?
He was the guy who was the police chief at the Las Vegas.
The Las Vegas shooting, right? Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he got the most cush job in the world.
That is a pretty solid job.
Isn't that wild? That doesn't seem suspicious at all. And so what I think it was an electrical fire, and then they did, if they were that incompetent, because a lot of people are saying, well, they did it on purpose, like they didn't put the siren on purpose, which they didn't. That was on purpose.
You think it's mostly incompetence?
They cut the water off on purpose. So if it is incompetence, Kurt says on my show, he goes, that's worse than if they did this on purpose.
Yeah.
Because they can be that incompetent. That's stunning. So I think it was a little of two things. I think it was incompetence, and I think there was some nefarious stuff going on too.
Why are
that
people...
guy's a criminal. I'll tell you what. The guy who's the police chief of Maui is a criminal. Every time I look at him, every one of my sensors goes off, and my gut is that guy is a criminal, and all you have to do is look, and you don't have to look very close to find out what... That guy's a criminal. So
he does have sort of a Weasley persona.
He's a criminal.
Do you think he's just like... What does criminal mean? Like he's getting, payola, like all that sort of stuff?
I think... whatever you can think of, he's probably involved in.
Yeah, I mean, one of the stories was essentially that like in Hialeah or whatever, that real estate is super desirable, and that the people who are living there, they're essentially like, they can't come back because they're going to redevelop it, and the people who are living there are not going to be able to afford to now live there, essentially. So that's, people were saying like that was kind of, there was some backroom stuff to essentially just let it burn so that they could just get rid of the people they've been trying to get rid of for a long time.
Right, and you can't. And that was, you couldn't like build there, from what's just my understanding, was because that's like, not sacred, but it was like protected land.
Yeah.
Right. And so this would be the only way you could.
Yeah, this is the only way.
Isn't that wild? The only way you could get it. And then the cops were unbelievably incompetent. They cut off the water to the fire department. They didn't turn on their sirens. It's all just a coinkydink.
Right. So you think if it was the incompetence thing more with these kind of things, basically what happens is it's probably like, it worked out. Maybe it's like, let's not stop it, but we're like orchestrating fires.
So I have an eyewitness I'm going to be interviewing on my show when I get back, which won't be for maybe a week or so, who says that they saw a suspicious guy lighting fires. So if that's true, I don't know, but there's an eyewitness.
Feds?
There's an eyewitness that said they saw a suspicious character lighting fire. So I'm going to I don't know. I'm going to interview that person. I've been connected with that person through a mutual.
See what they say.
And see what they say. Now, there was another eyewitness account that said they saw the cops stopping traffic. There was another eyewitness account that said the cops actually told them to turn around and go back into the fire. Eyewitness accounts of them guys getting their hose and the firemen showing up and they go, "We don't have any water." So this is all real. I'm not making up any of this stuff. This is all real. And they don't want you to ask again. What they want to do is they want to highlight people saying stuff like, a laser weapon or some kind of. They want to do that because look how.
Yeah, they want to discredit you.
They want to discredit
the kookiest take possible.
Anybody who's asking questions is a crazy, and hey, those people who are calling other people crazy, they just don't want you asking questions because it might hurt Joe Biden's reelection campaign.
Sure,
and that's what this is all about. So they want to make anybody who's asking questions is a crazy conspiracy nut. But the people who are saying those people are crazy conspiracy nuts are the biggest conspiracy nuts in the world.